Hello. Oh my God.
Hey, you are in a new house. It's so exciting.
I'm in a new house and it is 7 a.m. And about 3 minutes ago, I was still like, I don't know where the microphone is. I don't know. Like, this is the first time I've done anything in this office.
Oh my
Anything.
goodness me.
Like,
What an honor.
or you will regret. I don't know. I'm very, very discombobulated, but I do have a lovely view of the back garden, which is all greenery in front of me. So I think it's going to be nice. Although my voice may sound very, very hollow right now.
Exhaustion.
Yes. I am absolutely, I woke up and I was like, I am too tired to even get up. That's we went to the old house yesterday for the almost last time. I got to go drop off the keys, but like, probably went up and down the stairs 20 times and there are 50 steps. So it's, basically, almost 5 flights up, and I just carrying down the last things, like the last trash bag and 2 more plants, and the movers came and moved all the big stuff. But holy Helen.
Are you do you have multiple floors in your new house?
No, we have 4 steps. We have like 4 little wee steps that are all, perfectly fine steps. And every time I go up there now, I complain. I said, "Oh, I'm so exhausted." But at the old place, so we had the 50 steps, but each was a different height, poured concrete, and some of them were sloped either like backwards or forwards. And the very last one was almost double height. So you get up 49 steps and then you have to go one more.
Oh my goodness.
We hated groceries.
Some kind of sadistic torture.
I will miss the view probably every day for the rest of my life. I will never, but every time I think about the view, I'm like, I'm not missing the steps. No, I'm not.
No, I don't think I would miss that many steps either. When we were buying a house, the kiddo was desperate for us to buy a 3-story property. And I was like, think of the hoovering, think of the stairs we would have to hoover. I was just like, nah.
And then I don't know about you, but I'm one of those people that if I leave the house and go to the car and my sunglasses are inside, it's too much bother. I will not go back in the house. I'll just squint for the rest of the day.
Yeah.
I would never, if I in a house with 3 stories, I would never go. I was like, nah, I don't need to do that. I left that upstairs. I'm not going back.
It's lost to me. It's dead forever. Oh, well,
how are you?
What's I am okay. So we because I just checked. So we last spoke on the 22nd of December, which was I don't know how many weeks. That was like maybe 5 weeks ago. 4 of the 5 weeks I've been sick.
No.
Yeah. So I
was
got
it sick. COVID or just general?
Not COVID. Sick? I've picked up a virus that for the first time in our 14-year relationship, Chloe has never seen me put on my ass the way that I was put on my ass. And I don't know. Well, I mean, you can still hear a little bit.
Yeah, I can.
Today is the first day in a really, really long time that I haven't woken up like full of, sorry everyone, but full of snot, coughing through the night. But it wasn't COVID. And my neighbors next door have it, like everybody else I know has had it, like literally everybody has had it. And I was just put down. And like what didn't really help is that Chloe also got it at the same time, and she did this thing and it's called resting, and she got better very quickly.
I absolutely do not know. I was just what that is.
That sounds like shit. I'm not going to do that. And I'm still sick.
Oh, that's annoying. That's really annoying.
So annoying. And so on Wednesday, Ellie was like, okay, Ellie did not say it like this, but I'm just like, for a fact, I'm going to say it this way. She was like, back the fuck away from the computer and sit the fuck down. And I was like, okay, Ellie, I will do what you say. So I just kind of like stopped, ground a hole slowly, kind of by Friday, I was away. And
poor thing.
So I've been resting for a couple of days, and lo and behold, today was the first day that I woke up and it wasn't full of snot. So I'm just like, oh, whatever. Rest is so boring. It's so like 1990s.
There's only one thing that will help me rest, because I got really sick a couple months ago, and it went to bronchitis, and then it went to infection, and then it was awful. And I'm exactly like I can't rest unless Lala reminds me, and then I keep saying it in my head, like, it's my job. I need to do the best I possibly can. Like, I'm going to be the best rester in the whole world. This is my full-time job. And then I'm like, I'm resting because I've given it to myself as a challenge.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would work for you too. Like, bet you can't rest. Bet you can't rest as good as I can.
Yeah, it has to come from the right person, or like because I did think about that this morning when I can't remember where we were going this morning. I was just like, I wonder if I could turn this into like a challenge. And then I was like, nah, I haven't got time for that. Like, I'll take another day and then it'll be fine. Because like I said to Chloe, oh, do you think I feel better now? Do you think I can go back to the gym? And she just like looked at me and was like, you fucking dare, because this is what happened. So I got sick, and then I got better the first time for about like 2 days, and I was like, yeah, I can go back to the gym. So I went to the gym, and like, it wasn't just going to the gym. That was the problem. We were doing like strength tests. And so I was like pushing a 200 kilo sled across the thing, and like literally maxing out the like lat row and like machine. And
because
anyway,
you were back to normal, obviously.
Exactly. And then 2 days later, I was like really badly sick in bed. And anyway, so, but you know, I currently have to learn things more than once. So I got sick, got better for like 2 days, went back to the gym. 2 days later, I was back in bed.
We are so alike. We just have to test it. We have to, because this could be the time. I know him well.
Thank you. So now I'm waiting until Chloe says I can go to the gym.
I bet you go back one day before she would say. I bet you're going to get so
probably.
frustrated. Oh, you poor thing.
But it's fine, because like there's been so many exciting things happening.
Tell me everything.
I mean, well, okay, so I'm now only 2 weeks away from the launch.
Yes.
I can't believe it.
So I'm always about 2 or 3 months behind on your podcast. How are like the pre-orders going? And
so I set a target of 33 pre-orders because it was a brand new book. It's a brand new pen name, brand new genre. And so I was like, I don't expect to get anything basically. And also it's so neat. It's fantasy romance, but sapphic, right? And so fantasy romance is enormous, but not even though most people would read something that's sapphic romance and be fine with it, there's an automatic discounting. Mm-hmm. Like yes. They just, well, I read straight fantasy romance or what, right. And it's not even like a conscious thing. I'm not, but by its nature, it limits itself yes. in terms of the marketing. So I was not expecting an awful lot, but I did, I surpassed 33 pre-orders in the first like 4 days, which was amazing. Yeah.
Yes, you did.
Yeah. So then I set 50 pre-orders and I surpassed that. So I set 75 pre-orders. I surpassed that.
Oh my God.
I set 100. I surpassed that. And I'm now sat at 128 digital pre-orders. And so I've done like a pre-order campaign, and most of the pre-order proofs that have come in have been physical copies. So I don't even know how many physical pre-orders I've had. And it's in KU. So I was expecting like no pre-orders at all.
Absolutely.
Because nobody pre-orders in KU. So to have 128 2 weeks out, I'm like, that's pretty fucking good. I'm quite impressed with that. It's a brand new name and completely untested. Nobody knows what this bloody book is about. So I'm really quite pleased with that.
Where do you think that is? Do you think that it is coming from, because you're doing beautifully on the ye olde tickety talk? Do you think it's coming from that, or what?
I think that the first 33 that came are existing readers, either non-fiction or fiction, right. Who just want to support. And God, I love them. I literally love them, because that gave me so much confidence straight out of the gate. I was so grateful. And then I think it started to widen. So, I've tried to target like lesfic ARC people who read lesfic specifically. I started TikTok on the 3rd of January, I think. And so in a month, I got past the 1,000 mark, which I think is always the mark where you can then have the link and stuff. So I've been posting like 1 or 2 times a day, and that's really helped. Yeah. And I just think it's the way I'm talking about the book as well. Everybody's like, this book is so infectious because of how you're talking about it. And that was like a real lesson. And also, I knew how to talk about the book. So like with my first series, I'm like, well, I mean, it's kind of like upper young adult. It's sort of portal fantasy, but not really. And the world is and just, I have no way of explaining what the book is. And it's because I didn't start with like tropes and market and genre in mind. Whereas this I have. So I'm like, it's this, and I can like identify it. So that's really helped.
Also,
so,
may I
yeah.
say that I read it and I fucking loved it.
Did you? I didn't know if you were going to read or not.
I never expect my friends to read my books ever. I loved it. I didn't want to tell you until I saw you. I loved it. It was swoony and fighty. It was swoony and fighty. And your writing is beautiful.
Oh,
it is gorgeous. It is so sexy and but also like, it's so hot. Yes, of course, hot, but with like such a deep heart, just like so much passion and sweetness. I don't know how you really pulled that off.
It was wanting the emotional ferocity, right?
The emotional ferocity of both of them, Yes.
And I wanted powerful, commanding women, right? Because like, who doesn't love a kick-ass heroine or heroines? But also to show those like tender moments where like, because not everybody is one thing. And so, yeah. Oh, I love
they're both take no prisoners. Take no prisoners, both of them. But then they are taken prisoner by each other. I mean, like it was so good, Sacha. I loved reading it. And for those of you who might be listening to this for the first time, this is Ruby Rowe, Roe, and I've forgotten. It's a great name. Game of Hearts and Heist.
Yes.
I got it right.
Game of Hearts. Yes, you did. A Game of Hearts and Heist.
Good job.
Yeah.
It was so gorgeous. Thank you so much for letting me have the arc.
No, thank you for reading. I literally don't expect like anybody, like especially like friends as well. I know how busy our TBRs are, so I didn't expect you to read it at all. So thank you. That's made my day. So tell me your stuff anyway.
Well, it's just been, so we talked end of December. It's been a fuckload of packing and moving stuff. The class that I've been putting together, publishing in today's market or whatever I'm going to call it, is just about done with the editing, but it turned into 22 modules, which,
wow.
All of them are like 15 or 20 minutes. So it was it's a huge class, a huge course. So I've been doing that. All of my classes started the 90 days to done. So that all kicked off with a big bang, like while I'm,
while you're moving,
while we're moving. And it's just been hell. And then 7 Miracles went out. I don't think it had been rejected by my, the publisher by Penguin.
Which is what
Dutton,
you wanted.
Which is what I wanted. And then my agent, Susanna, took it out to, I want to say 11, 10 or between 10 and 12. I can't remember what she said. Publishers at different houses, including a couple of ones that I'd be very interested in. And I have been rejected by 4 or 5. And it's so good. It's so good that like Susanna always sends me the rejections. She just forwards the email. And then I get to read it, and it's just the typical rejection, like people get when they're trying to query agents. This was great, but I didn't connect with it, etc. And it just feels good to not have any emotional reaction, not even the slightest one. Like there are no hurt feelings, because I love this book and this book does what I want it to do. And if no one picks it up, I will be thrilled to self-publish it. But I've also, as we've talked about, I've also kind of let go of it in my heart. And then yesterday or the day before yesterday, Susanna got a note from an editor that I really like saying, I love it. I'm taking it to my team on Tuesday, trying to, we'll hear more then. And then another one said basically the same thing. So, and then another one was also interested. They're all like, rallying the team and talking to things. So it could sell. And I don't know. I feel so divorced from it as a as a product. If Susanna sold it, I'd be so happy. And if she didn't, then I would remarry it and get back into it. But if she sold it, I'd be just like, oh yes, I'm happy to let that go.
Oh, I love it. And I think that is such a healthy place to be there as well, because so many of us are not in that place when we start querying, or even if it's not a query thing, it's just like an award or whatever. Like if it's a thing that we're striving towards, we are so often emotionally invested, and that's good too, because it's good to care, but also sometimes it's good to be divorced from it and from the outcome of which you cannot control, right? Like that's a healthy place to be.
Exactly. I saw the email from this editor who loved it. She said buckets of tears and couldn't put it down. And I read it in the car while we're like, headed back to the house to do something else. And I immediately forgot it and didn't tell Lala for like 2 days, because it just doesn't matter that much, in the grand scheme of, I guess really nothing matters in the grand scheme of moving except like raw survival. Lala has not had pants for 3 days. She has one pair of shorts and that's what she's wearing. She does not know where her jeans, I don't know where anything, we don't have a single pot. I can't find them. Like I found all of the plates, but no saucepans. So it's just that kind of chaos.
God, yeah. How long are you giving yourself to like unpack before you come back to work proper, so to speak?
Oh, no time. So we moved, the movers came and moved us on Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday, I just absolutely worked my ass off unpacking and, cleaning and doing things like that. And then today's Monday. And I told Lala, I said, I think I can get my work hours down to 5 hours tomorrow. I'll do like 3 hours of this, 2 hours of this. I forgot our chat. So 6 hours. And then we can go, we don't have a microwave, got to go shopping for a couple more things. And then we can do more unpacking. And she said, or you could work for a little while and then rest. And I was like, I don't understand what that means. But I'm also, I don't know if you get like this, or how you are, but like when I am unpacking, I want to be in control of everything. It's when my control freak tendencies, also it's my number one input, like input loves to categorize and sort and put in the right place. So when Lala walks into the kitchen and looks at where I put, the spices and says anything, I'm like, no. This is mine. I am doing this. This is So and then I've taken the task of unpacking the whole house, which is ridiculous.
So Chloe and I have lived in many, many, many houses, and we have now got it down to like a T. So I will pack everything. She will dismantle everything.
Oh.
She moves everything, like the physical. Yeah. So like, I mean,
you don't hire movers?
We haven't up until now.
Okay. So you're about 35, right?
Yeah.
I have this theory that like it's 35 and up where you're just like, no, that's what money is for.
Yeah, this was the last time we were like, never again, ever will we do this again. But up until now, I mean, this is like the 23rd house I've lived in. So we've done this a lot of times. So she would like be in charge of the moving. I would still help lift and stuff, but she directs the moving, and then I unpack. So like I pack and unpack, and then she rebuilds everything. Yeah. So it's pretty, yeah.
And you retain control over where things go.
Exactly.
It's very important.
It's so important to me.
Also for me, it's like fighting words. Like if you tell me to put the spices there and I don't want them there, I have 17 reasons why they shouldn't go there. And
do you do the cooking?
We really share it. We
okay. So I do the cooking. So I'm like, why would you unpack my kitchen? Get out of my kitchen.
But that's fair. I think, I mean, if you are the cook, and honestly, now that I say that, Lala is actually doing more of the cooking since she's unemployed. So I should really get out of her way.
Yes, but number one, input takes priority.
I'm going to organize this incredibly well.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody out inputs an input. Okay.
There is no storage in this house though. Like there are 2 little closets, which would hold, they're like the tiniest wardrobe size. So it would probably hold 8 or 10 hanging shirts. And that's about it. And maybe some shoes at the bottom. And that's all of the storage. So I don't know what I think I'm going to keep my clothes in the bookcase in my office. Like and I'm just going to get rid of most of my clothes. I just don't know. So it's that kind of input problem that's been keeping me up at night.
That's a significant issue. There must be like, so what about the there's that Netflix show, isn't there, with the two ladies, the two mums who like go
the
in
home
and, like,
edit.
Oh yeah, oh my god, like just there needs to be like a New Zealand version of that, which yeah
You do when you have absolutely no closets. There's a tiny linen closet, but it's only like 15 centimeters deep, and that's it. So I have been losing sleep just thinking about like where things go, and it feels so good. But I'm also really looking forward to getting back to things being sorted so that I can sit at the desk and do all of the work that I want.
Yeah. Do you ever go out and like go to a coffee shop to work, or are you like at your desk?
Not since COVID. We have been so protectively avoiding it that like I will go to the cafe, but then I'll wear a mask and then I'm hot, and it's not as pleasant to like sneak the sips under the mask. But that is
used to though.
Yes, that was honestly the place where I would get the most work done. I have written most first drafts always in a cafe or a library. And there is there's something called the National Library, which we lived walking distance to, and now we live, a short drive from. But that is nice because it's huge, and there's this one little desk that nobody's ever at, and I can take off my mask there. So I think I need to do that more. What about you? Do you write out?
No, I love the idea. I love a cheeky artisan coffee or whatever.
Yeah.
And I love to go to a coffee shop. And then I just am so distracted by people and like everything that's going on and sensory overload that I just do nothing. I just end up doing nothing. So, but I hate it because I really like going to coffee shops, and I love the idea of like working in a coffee shop. So what I tend to do is actually go there and just like with a pen and piece of paper, as opposed to trying to type. If I have like my noise cancelling headphones, I can a little bit, but I had a car accident when I was about 20, and I have like residual neck issues, so I can't type on a laptop on a table. So I'd have to take like my riser and then like a mouse, and then I'm like, oh my god, this is so, I'm like lazy. I'm like, no, I'll just stay at home. I'll go get my coffee and come back home. So I kind of like, of late I've been a bit like eyeing the coffee shops with a bit of wistfulness, but there
is if you manage to like leave the phone somewhere else, like leave the phone in the car, turn off the Wi-Fi, and don't get the password at the cafe, you will eventually do the work. Like you will get and you have to have the noise canceling headphones. But for me, there's something about the body doubling of having everybody else working. However, that worked in the States really well because, the cafes that I would go to, I had regular cafes, regular people around me. We would say hello to everybody, and then we would work. Here I think I saw one person once working on a computer in a cafe, but otherwise New Zealand's culture does not do that. Wellington is kind of the coffee capital of New Zealand. And there are 2 cafes on every street. I'm not exaggerating. They are always full of people talking.
People talk to each other?
I cannot get over it. I would just feel so rude opening a laptop in a computer. I did it once with Lala. Like we needed to get some work done, and there was something happening at the apartment, and we've got our computers. So we were sitting together, but we just felt like assholes. So people do go to the library and work. So I could do that. But isn't that kind of lovely that the cafes are always full of people talking? But I really want them to be okay with me just writing.
Yeah. Oh my goodness me. So did you read the Claire H. Taylor book?
I didn't finish it.
Okay.
But I read a lot of it and I really liked it. What did you think?
I thought the content and the book was fine. Absolutely fine. Great even. I think because I am so deep into strengths, I struggled a little bit because that strengths is my frame of reference now. So I kind of wanted, because everybody I know who's read it has been like super enthusiastic. And it's not that I wasn't enthusiastic. It's just that I was like, I don't really get how this adds to or kind of changes the.
So I get that, but what do you think about it? When I think, for me, I think of the Enneagram. So what we're talking about here is Reclaim Your Author Career by Claire Taylor. And the subtitle is Using the Enneagram to Build Your Strategy, Unlock Deeper Purpose, and Celebrate Your Career. What I really liked about her take on it is that the Enneagram can kind of be the operating system for the strengths, if that makes sense. Like, the reason that my strengths work the way they do is because the soul of my strengths is that number 3. Like, that's the root. The ball of all of my insecurities and needs and wants come from this achiever type that needs to get stuff done. And also I'm a 3-wing force of the individualist. So like, I need to get all of the things done, but I also kind of want to do it my own way and alone. What are you again?
Well, that's kind of the thing. So on the test, I have in the past tested as a 3. The most recent test I did, I tested as an 8.
What's the 8
and number
again?
8's the challenger.
Okay.
And the number 5 was the second strongest one that came up. But obviously Claire says you can't have 8-wing 5 because it's not a real wing. But 5 was the one that was the second strongest and 8 was the strongest. And I think the problem is that in there she was like, oh, if you have a couple that kind of resonate or you test highly, ask yourself which fear you would prefer not to have, and it's that one. And I was just like, I'm not really sure that any of the, like, I don't know, I found it very difficult to like answer that question, because I think the 5 one was about being incompetent, and I was like, well, no, I'm not incompetent, so that's irrelevant. And then the other one,
okay, yeah, go on.
And then the other one was about being controlled, and I'm like, well, my greatest fear is that I'll never be anything more than average, which is like, it's not really either of those. And yes, I desperately don't want to be controlled. Like, I really do not want to be controlled. But I don't know. I don't feel like any of those fears drive me. I don't feel like I allow fear to drive me, because when I fear something, I make myself do it. Like I am like masochistic in my drive to force myself to do something, because I will not allow fear to control me.
Yeah, I think that's
so then maybe it's control.
I think that's the strengths coming up to, because your strengths are so strong. Your, top 5 are so strong. They are coming out to assist you in never having to fear it, because they won't allow you to do it, be it, right, feel it.
So that confused me.
So it's really this. Yeah. So what?
And I struggled to like get into it because so much of it was about emotion. And I'm so often like, I know we all joke about this and everyone's like, oh yeah, you feel lows. And I'm like, but I actually don't. Like my predominant emotions are a conniption. I'm either extremely angry or extremely excited about something, and I feel them like in a massive flash of emotion, and then poof, it's gone. There's just nothing on the inside. Like, someone asked me what I felt about like beating all the pre-order things, and I was just like, literally nothing. I feel no emotion, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I just feel nothing. It's just a number. Like, and that's what I mean. Like, and that's why I really struggled to connect with this book. But I have no blues, so
I don't know if you're struggling to connect with the book itself, but the whole Enneagram.
Yes,
thing.
That's
so. I'm just glancing. I mean, to me, when I'm looking at these things, looking at you, I see 2 things. I see, the challenger type 8, fear of being controlled and desire to be strong, independent. Hi, Sacha. And I don't, I mean, the achiever, I think, and I'm talking out my ass. You realize this, because I am an expert in like having read this book and taken a couple of tests, and I haven't even finished this book. So, but like the achiever, the fear is of being worthless. I don't see that in you as much as the fear of being controlled.
Right. And so here's the interesting thing. In my strengths coaching over the last year, that was my biggest wound, is that I have spent a lot of my life feeling unloved. And because I felt unloved, I felt like I had no value and no worth. And so I think that's why I was testing as a 3. And now I have overcome that. Yeah. I know, it fucking broke my brain as well when I read
That's
it.
cool.
Yeah. But I'm healed from that now, right?
Yeah.
So that's no longer a fear. It's no longer a wound. And I think that's why I used to test as a 3.
That is absolutely fascinating. And then I would see you as more of the 8, the strong, fear of being controlled, the desire to be strong and independent, the fear of being controlled. And then I would say, if that is true, your strengths are just like clustered around that. So you don't even really need the Enneagram core to be explained to you, if you know what I mean, because you're already doing all the things to set yourself up for success. Whereas for me, what I really liked about the book is that I'm such a strong 3 and worried about being worthless. Like so my thing is, if I sit on the couch and fuck off and look at TikTok or watch television or something like that for an hour, I feel now, and in those moments, and I know it's stupid, but like, I'm not being as worthy as I should. I'm not being productive. I'm not contributing to the world enough by sitting there. I'm going to be seen as worthless.
But you're giving your number one strength the creative energy that it needs.
Yes.
Like you are literally doing your job. You are doing your job by doing that.
And that is actually what Ellie has pointed out to me. She's like, you have to put in order to give to others. So therefore, when I'm sitting on the couch, fucking off and looking at the phone, I can actually tell myself that this is creating value that I will someday be able to give to somebody else. And then I'm able to do it. So, for me, knowing that everything that I do in terms of writing has to go to helping others and producing worth. I'm not going to heal whatever wounds, because I came out of the womb a 3. It just feels like absolutely my core. Like I came out of the womb saying, can I help? I'm sorry that hurt. Can I do something for you? So knowing that just means that this is the thing, is that I will never, ever, ever be a successful writer if I am going for just money or adulation or praise or something like that. It has to be from that deep feeling of, and it sounds like such a dick thing, but it's like she was pretty brutal about the 3s actually in the book. Like we have to prove our worth to ourselves by doing something. And sometimes that's money. And so for me, I don't want that to be money. I like money. I want all the money to come to me. Yes. But I don't want that to actually be what proves my worth. You know what I mean?
Yes. Because I had to prove to myself that I was worthy and that I deserved love. And that was how I healed. Right. Like, so I 100% get it. And I know that it's not my core, because like you say, when I then went back and read like the 8 stuff, I was like, oh, this is uncomfortable. So
yes, and it is the strength that makes you most uncomfortable. I think that we most identify with.
Yeah.
So
definitely. Will knowing any of that change or shape what you do? Because in the book, she talked a little bit about shaping your career around the kind of soul of the Enneagram and like the thematic stuff, which I found all of that fascinating. I thought she did a really good job of that. That was the bit that I found the most interesting in terms of like themes in your books and topics to write on. And like, as we've sat here, I've kind of like laughed to myself, because the themes in my first series were all about like who controlled your destiny.
Yes.
You're joking. Oh my God. Why am I such an open? I fucking hate that I'm so predictable.
But we all
know me.
That is a really interesting point, because every single one of my books that I've ever written, with fiction and the nonfiction, always come down to the main character, whether that's me or somebody else, realizing that they are worthy just as they are without doing anything, just being their own human selves. So I wonder if one could
incredible.
Input every, an author's books and determine from that the Enneagram they are by the core wound that the main character is always healing.
Oh my God. And my non-fiction books are exactly the same, because I start every single one with a thing that say something like "fuck the rules," like do it your own way, do not be controlled by like anybody, anything that anybody says, like in terms of craft. So oh my god, like, so basically Claire is a fucking genius and we all need to bow at her feet of brilliance.
I thought it was a well-written book. I thought it was deep. I don't know her at all. I haven't listened to the Summer Book Show in a long time because I just don't listen to all the podcasts. I listen to like yours and Joanna's, and that's about it right now. But yeah, I just think she really made me remember that. And I'm pretty good at remembering this, honestly, and I think you are too. But I don't chase trends in order to make things happen. I continually go back to the core of who I am and what I need to do. And that's what drives my business and the reason that I do it.
I love that. I love that. And I think the reason that I didn't get on with it is because I feel like the Enneagram was trying to control me.
Oh my God, that is so meta. And you are absolutely correct. But then why don't you feel like that about the Clifton strengths?
Because I'm number one competition, and it's a success. It is success metrics driven. So it's coaching for success, right?
For strength.
And so I have continually seen trackable, measurable improvements. And so for me, Clifton Strengths is a tool in order to improve myself. Whereas the Enneagram felt far more emotionally manipulative and controlling. No, I don't know. I don't know. Clearly,
I believe it was reaching into your heart and stirring up emotions, and
it's cold, dead, and black inside.
And it isn't. It's a roiling cauldron
of rebellion. Oh dear, I am so predictable. Honestly, my dad and I, we have this on-running joke that we are really very simple humans, because we can be played so easily. If the right person with the right competition comes along and is like, bet you can't do it, I'll fucking show you.
Yeah,
so simple, such simple creatures.
How do you deal with, like, if that motivation is triggered by someone or something that you don't want it to be triggered by? Does that ever happen?
Not.
So you're at the
really.
gym and you see somebody doing something and you don't care about this person, but you really want to do it. Would that happen?
So my competition tends to be triggered by people I don't like. I believe I just
tell me more.
Well, like, so if I like you, I'm very unlikely to want to compete against you, because I just want to I want to cheerlead for you, because that's the other half of competition, right? Is motivating and supporting and inspiring other people. Yep. And so, like, if I love you, if I like you, if you are like one of my people, then I don't want to compete against you, because if I compete against you, I will fucking I'll destroy anything. I will destroy you, basically. Exactly.
And I like you and I don't want to do that.
If I like you, I don't want to do that. Like, let's be friends. So for me, competition is like, you have to find somebody like who for me, I have to be competing against people that I don't particularly like most of the time, I have to say. So like in the gym, it's huge. Like the only other time that isn't the case is if like somebody is just like this much better than me in the gym, and like they know they're good, and even if they're a nice person, I still want to be better than them. So that's like, but it has to be just the right amount of better, because it has to be a realistic, like I have to be realistically able to beat them. Like if somebody, so for example, there's a whole on-running joke with my patrons about me and V.E. Schwab, and but she is so far out of my league. I've never
read her, actually. I still haven't.
She's annoyingly good.
I love your face. You look annoyed.
Oh God, I'm so fucking annoyed. She is a genius as well. Like some of the ways that she uses symbolism is just, she's unreal. But I don't want to say too many things on air, but anyway, there are certain things that I'm going to move on from this conversation, but basically she's too far out of my league for me to compete realistically with her. Right. Even though if she was in my league, I would 100% be competing.
Yeah.
But
what book would you suggest that I read if I were to?
So that's hard. That's so hard, because Addie LaRue is her most famous book.
That's one I always hear about.
Sweeping historical to modern day light fantasy, I would say, with a like bargain with the devil kind of.
But you lost lyrical, sweeping historical. So give me something else.
Okay, so then there is Gallant, which is the one that she wrote after that, which is I think it's technically upper YA, but the character is young. Mute protagonist, which was very interesting.
Yeah.
A lot of symbolism in it. 2 houses, like one live one dead one. So that one's quite good. My favorite of hers is Vicious, which is 2 anti-heroes as the main characters, best friends. One can't die and the other one can't be killed. And they basically something like that. It's one can't die and the other one can't be killed. Yeah, I think it's something like that. And they basically become superheroes and then like become mortal enemies, and it's fantastic. So I would say either Vicious or Gallant, I think.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. So what are you working on now?
That's what I was just going to ask you. For me, I am working on, I think what I need to do is, once the classes,
finish the course?
For the course, once the course is finished, and I should be able to do that within a week if I got back to my desk. If I found my desk, literally, I had to pull the microphone out of my purse. I was like, where? I know I saw it somewhere. I put it somewhere safe. And then I need to fix the first 3 chapters of the last memoir for Susanna to take out, but I've really lost heart with that book for a little while. But then the book that is working titled The New Zealanders, about moving here, I have this idea that, the penultimate chapter will be the way we have felt for this last month, which is like, is it worth it? Is this worth it? Can you flip it in reverse? Can you, did we make the right choice? Because buying the house has really raised all of the feelings that we felt almost 2 years ago when we moved here. Like, oh, now we're really gone. Now it was triggered by all of our friends and family kind of got upset when we bought the house, and they all said the same thing, which was, and they were all really supportive. Nobody was like,
thought you'd come home.
Yeah. Everyone said a different version of, oh, you're really staying. And I just kept like laughing. Haha, of course. Didn't they know that? And then I was like, oh, we're really staying. And then Lala was feeling it too. So I think that will be kind of the dark moment that I need to write about and explore. And I'm still trying to figure out. And of course, I only remember what I'm in. And right now I'm finally so grateful to be here, and it's beautiful and I love it, but I need to go back and explore that. And then the last chapter will be the housewarming party that we have next month, which I'm looking forward to, filling the house with friends, and because I have friends here, and that's going to be awesome. And then putting that book together, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it. It would make sense for Susanna's sub agent to try to sell it to the New Zealand, Australian market, and then for me to self-publish it everywhere else. But do I want to let go of that? And that's just an ego thing. Like, would I like to have my book in the New Zealand bookshops about moving to New Zealand? Yes, I would. But I really, 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 really want to self-publish something. I'm dying. I need control. I haven't had control of any book for a while, and I need that. So that's what I'm going to be working on next. And then I can't remember if I told you this or not, but I want to pull together a short series. Oh, maybe I didn't tell you this. The
author stuff.
Actually, not even the author stuff, but like more on creativity. So like maybe 3 books of about 50K each. I just need to arrange a bunch of the old Patreon essays into little books. And then I could literally almost rapid release nonfiction, which I think would be fun.
So I think
may have thought.
I think you were talking about it in terms of using the content that you had.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So those are my next steps, but I just really want to get this house sorted. I want to like shake everything into place so that I can sit at my desk and do all the work that I haven't been able to do for
because we love our jobs.
I love
my job. Yeah. I have noticed though that I love my job a bit too much.
You don't say.
Yeah. It's like I don't really know what to do. Like if I don't work, I don't really like, I don't like, because it's my favorite thing to do. So like, what do I do when I'm not doing that? And I like, because I don't really want to just sit in front of the TV for hours and hours and hours on end. So I'm always like, oh, what?
So
like,
what do you do? Because I know you were thinking about that. What have you, what
well, the last month I've done nothing other than being
right.
sick. Yeah. So
what did you do while you were sick? Were you reading or?
Well, I worked until like 10, 11 o'clock at night every single night, obviously.
Did you really? You were working while you were sick?
A month later. I've written nearly 50K this month. Like, look.
I thought I was a bad sick person. You are the worst.
I am the worst. I am literally.
So what are you writing on?
So I wrote a kind of bonus steamy novella. I wrote a bonus steamy epilogue.
Mm-hmm.
Then I wrote the prequel. So like all of the times that the two girls met. So I reference it in A Game of Hearts and Eyes. So they met and fought on jobs and fucked. And it's all of those in sequential order running up to the beginning of the book. Yeah. So it's just pure fun, the novella. And then I started book 2 and I got 24K in and ground to a very severe halt, which was partly mass exhaustion and sickness, and partly because I realized so book 2 is a long con, but a long con is actually a con within a con.
And is it different characters but same world? Or
it's yes, I don't know if you can remember the final chapter, but I did set up who it should be. Yes. Okay, yeah. So that reveal, that's like kind of what happens. And so yes, it's the same, not the identical characters, but other characters in the group. And I messed up the con within a con, so I've had to go back and like re-outline everything. And I then started editing the first 30K to get it right, and then ground to another halt. So I was like, nope, something's still wrong. And I realized that I like romantic characters to have a lot of conflict. So like, I don't think I could write friends to lovers. I just don't think I'm capable.
I don't think you could either. I think your enemies to lovers is really the most powerful I have seen done in a very long time.
But it's a competition, and that's why.
It is. It is. And that's why you can do it. And that's why I think I couldn't write it. Like, that's not something I could ever write. Cause
really, but you have competition.
I do have high competition, but no, you do it so well. I could not even, like, my competition just says like VE Schwab. I'm just like, nah, not the same league. I'm not even going to try that. No.
Well, so here's the thing, right? I loved Enemies to Lovers so fucking much that I want to write an entire series of Enemies to Lovers books. Yes. So I've already started plotting a vampire series, and every single book is going to be a different twist on Enemies to Lovers, because I just fucking love it that much. But like, obviously the art will be in making each of them a very, very different book. But I'm so excited already.
I can see that. Okay, so you replotted, and then what's your next steps to get back into that?
So I replotted, I started editing, I got to chapter 8 out of 12 and stopped, and I was like, no, something's wrong. And basically I realized that I hadn't leveled the conflict right, and that's why I wasn't having enough fun. And so I had to like up the conflict. So I've put it on my Kindle, and I'm now reading it on the Kindle, and it's the scribe, so I'm like doing the notes on that, because if I read on the computer I will just edit, and that was the problem. I can't get through it on the computer because I just start editing. So yeah, I'm reading on my Kindle, and I should be done tomorrow, I think, and then I'll go back to drafting. So yeah,
that's amazing.
I'm excited. I'm excited for all of the writing. It's such a nice place to be. Like, I'm so determined to be joyful this year, like with the words. And so yeah, I'm very, very excited.
That is so cool.
Yes. And I go to Paris next month.
For how long?
Only a few days. We're going on the 14th and we're back on the 17th, and we're going to Disney Paris as well. Take the kiddo to Disney, which is very exciting. So yeah, that's like my fun thing.
Wonderful.
Yeah, so I'm excited.
I don't think I have any fun things coming up until March. I think a friend from the States is going to come stay with us in February for a little while. And then in March, I have my next long solo retreat planned, which is 4 nights. I think it's 4 nights in a little B&B or Airbnb by the sea, 5 hours north. And I cannot wait.
And you journal and read and stuff, but you don't write when you go away, do you?
Don't usually work. I try to make it like, and by work, I mean, write or revise a book. I try to make it completely filling. It's really I just realized I identified it. It's an input thing for me. It's a read, process and sort in the journal, and then read some more. No social media, just reading and journaling. It's so good.
I love it.
There's a hot tub.
It. Oh, I'm jealous already. That's incredible. So I love that you do it for me. Yeah, I love that it's like energy pennies for your number one strength.
I did not even realize it until I just said that right now. Of course it is. Yeah. Yeah. The other thing I do is I lay in a hot tub. Usually there's a bathtub. No, I've always gotten a place with a tub, and listen to podcasts. So that's my other input. And it's, I actually remember being in the tub on this windy little Airbnb, listening to your podcast in a storm with a waterproof little speaker that I took out to the tub as I'm being just dumped on. And it was literally hurricane gale force winds. And I can hear your voice, and I can't remember who you were talking to, but I was like, that's fun. That's just fun.
Oh my God. Hurricane, and you're in the bloody hot tub. That is next level.
It wasn't even a hot tub. It was an outdoor bathtub. Even better. It was an outdoor bathtub incredible. in a paddock on the edge of a cliff. And the paddock, I had to borrow their farm truck and go through like 9 gates on these muddy roads to get to this. And it was a little tiny house and the outdoor bathtub. And I knew that I was completely alone. So I was always like naked in and out, and I was in and out of it all day. And then one afternoon I looked around, and there were just some farmers standing behind me. And I went like under the water, and they saw me seeing them. They were probably 25 yards away, and close enough to see everything had they wanted to. Just probably didn't. And yeah, then they walked away a little red face
quickly. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
Tom didn't tell us he had a guest.
Yeah. Oh my God, I would literally die.
I died. I'm so glad that I wasn't actually walking to the tub, because it wasn't very far from the little tiny house. So I never wore clothes to do that.
I hope that there's a bit more shelter for your hot tub this time.
I think there is.
What are we going to read this month?
Oh, I can't remember. Did we make any decisions on that?
I don't think that we did.
You know what? We should probably say that the book we decided on last time was Balls. So we apologize if anybody wanted to play along with us. I think I got like 18 chapters in, because the book didn't even start until like chapter 18. It was like introduction, forward, preface. And I kept skimming. I'm like, okay, it's going to get better when we hit chapter 1. It got worse. I only got a few pages into chapter 1. And I hated every sentence. That person cannot write.
No.
So
I was like, oh God, I really hope I don't have to
force
my way through this.
We will never do that.
Okay.
We will never ever force our way through a book. We have to have joy with it, or we will just tell each other absolutely not. So why don't we figure out a book, and then we can talk about it, and then people may want to read it after we talk about it next month, unless you have
one of my friends is reading Financial Feminist: Overcome Patriarchy's Bullshit.
Ooh, if you put in Finan, Finan on Amazon, it autofills.
Oh,
so it's that high.
Tori Dunlap, it is.
Wait, I clicked on the wrong one. Tell me the name of it again.
Tori.
Oh,
so
there we go.
Tori Dunlap, financial feminist.
What a cute cover.
So I don't know, like we can have a look.
Yes.
And if there's something different, then we'll put it in the show notes or whatever.
Okay.
But this one was, my friend found this and I was like, oh, that looks really good. So she will be listening. So I'm stealing it. Thank you, darling.
It looks wonderful. I just sent myself a sample chapter and I'll start that tonight. Thank you for the suggestion. I'm sure that we will love it. Not like that other one. I can't even remember it.
I've literally erased it from my brain. Oh dear. I mean, it had so much potential.
It did. It was really about, connecting with your reader, but it did not connect with these readers.
I did not connect with it. The irony. Oh my God, the irony.
They were pretty fucking easy to connect with, honestly.
I know,
all you have to be is real. That's it.
I know.
It just started pouring. It's so beautiful. We've had these floods, but it's so beautiful.
Isn't it summer?
It's summer, and we basically got those California floods. Like they just ran down here, and Auckland had all of their summer rain dump in one day, and houses have been lost. And we haven't been flooding in Wellington, and God forbid. But yeah. Oh yeah, I think I'm gonna love my house. And thank you for being my first work thing in my house, which almost didn't happen this morning. I was like, I had not even gotten out my computer. My computer has been in a bag for 3 days. That's how.
Well, I definitely will confess that I had forgotten. And if it weren't for the fact that my Fitbit alerted me 10 minutes before, I would have completely forgotten. But the reason, in my defense, the reason I forgot is because I have been trying very hard not to do stuff in the evenings.
Yes. I feel so bad now that I know you're sick.
Because this is 6 p.m. right? So this is before I even do bedtime.
So this doesn't 9 p.m. where you are.
Okay, no. It's 6. It's almost 7 o'clock now.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I was like, actually, this is because also I'm finding the older my kid gets, because my office is underneath him, the harder he's finding it to sleep. Yeah. And I tend to do podcasts as he goes to sleep. So I'm like keeping him up. So actually 6 o'clock is a better time. So I might have to swap that around. But yeah. Anyway.
Well, I'm so glad to see you, and thank you. And I'm
glad to see you.
The happiest writing ever in this next month. I can't wait to hear what you do with the book.
Finished. Actually, I can't promise that. We're away.
No, but closer. Yeah,
close. Yes. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good job, you. Okay.
Good luck with the course and all of the crafty, creative nonfiction.
Okay. Bye.